Are you looking for the best Creality 3D printer? In this video we will look at some of the 6 best printer on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. Creality Ender 3 Pro 3D Printer. While 3D printer Creality models tend to be sturdy contraptions that are tough enough to survive some rough handling here and there, one of the problems you can sometimes encounter with these contraptions would probably have something to do with the power supply going haywire. Now, having considered that the folks at Creality made sure to include special protection that you can count on at all times. So, no matter what kind of sudden power surge this machine falls victim to, you can rest assured that its circuitry won't get damaged. This Creality Ender Series 3D printer model comes semi-assembled, so you will not put some parts of it together to make this thing work. That said, the most complicated parts of this machine have already been assembled in the factory, so you won't have to be an electrical engineer to assemble this thing. It's there to help you finish a printing task you've started before you had to stop it because of an unexpected power outage or some other reason. The great thing about this option is that you won't have to guess where to place your unfinished model in the printer, as the printer itself will start where it left off if you put the unfinished object where it last was when the printing process was cut short before completion. This option can quite a lifesaver for you if you plan to use your printer fairly often, but you tend to have problems with an unstable local power grid, and power outages can happen fairly often. One other interesting thing that you will certainly find useful would be the fact that the plate is completely removable, so you will have no problems whatsoever removing the object that's on this plate once it's complete. At number 2. Comgrow Official Creality Ender 3v2 3D Printer. Representing an advanced device and one of the best Creality printer models that you can use with ease thanks to its high-tech novice-friendly control panel, this contraption can help you translate all kinds of cool designs from a computer program into a real-life replica that you can keep on your shelf, a gift to someone, or even sell. It makes it possible for this machine to work without interruptions, and also it features such design that minimizes the machine noises, so even if you place this printer in the room you share with someone, they won't flip out at you that easily when you attempt to 3D print an action figurine. Made out of temperature-resistant glass, this platform will ensure that whatever object you place upon it will evenly heat and that the 3D object formation process will go smoothly from the bottom to the finishing touches at the top. One last thing that'd be worth mentioning about this model is that its hotbed heats up fairly quickly, so you won't have to wait around for this thing to pick up the heat to start the printing process. Represents a great addition to this model that you can count on in different situations where the printing process has to stop. The thing is, if the power supply is unstable where you live and the printing process needs to cut short, what you can rely on at all times would be the resume printing function, which will automatically reset this printer to a position that it was last at when it stopped printing for whatever reason. If you worry that this 3D printer may be too complex for you to figure out, you can rest assured that this isn't the case, especially if you take into consideration the fact that it comes with a high-tech looking, easy-to-use control panel. At number 3. Creality 3D Store Ender 3 3D Printer. Featuring a relatively small build for such a complex device, this Creality 3D model can be a great solution for anyone in need of a high-quality printer that they can use in the comfort of their home whenever they feel like it. This printer comes with all the latest bells and whistles of the 3D printer world, so you can rest assured that you will get the most out of this model each time you turn it on to start a new printing task. Meaning that the lower base of this printer, as well as all of the complex circuitry and wiring, is already complete, and you won't have to touch any of it when you receive this contraption. Since these printers don't come fully assembled for simple and speedy shipping and delivery, it is necessary to remove the entire top structure, so it is this structure together with its beams and other stuff that you will have to attach yourself. Thanks to its improved design, which includes a structure that you can rely on at all times that will help you make awesome highly precise lines, this 3D printer model will ensure that you won't have to worry about you having to do a lot of work fixing the newly printed object because of an imprecise printing mechanism. To a large extent, this excellent precision is owed to the well-made, sturdy frame that leaves no room for wobbling, slanting, or any other form of disturbance during the printing process. At number 4. Comgrow Official Creality Ender 3 3D Printer. Featuring a simple build and requiring only a little bit of assembly here and there, this Comgrow 3D printer model represents an interesting solution that you can rely on. Even though the build itself is not that complex, one great thing about this contraption is that it's quite large, so you can easily make larger designs using it without having to chop your data files into several pieces only to merge them later on. Representing probably the coolest features on this model, this Comgrow 3D printer can heat up pretty quickly, with the risk of a power surge or other power-related problems brought to a minimum. If you take a look at how long it takes for this model's heater to start functioning, what you're looking at is some 5 of heat up time, which is better than what most of the models currently on the market can muster. That said, it is true that this rapid heat up process requires more energy, but what you can count on is that, should something go wrong in your house's electrical grid, this model's protected power supply will take good care of it before any damage can occur. As we already hinted at in the introduction to this product details, this 3D printer will require some assembly once you've received it. So, what you will have to do includes a simple process of putting together several parts already made up of different parts. Can be an important part of this printer's arsenal, as the better the printing you can do, the better the objects you can print will look. So, thanks to this model, you would be able to get quite a decent quality of printing, so long as you manage to make high-quality models that would translate into great-looking figurines. At number 5. Creality 3D Printer Ender 3. Representing an upgraded version of the now famous Ender 2 model, this Creality contraption comes with a variety of different bells and whistles that you will find necessary for making high-quality, cool prints. For example, when it comes to using 3D printers, one thing that you often need to take into consideration would be removing the object you've just printed from its base surface. Now, the surface material plays an important role here, as not all surfaces are willing to let go of the object on them that easily. With this model, removing the action figures, decorative vases, and other objects you've 3D printed will be a piece of cake because it is made out of a non-stick material that can be heated up and cooled down quickly. Makes the end part of the printing process much easier and more user-friendly. The thing is, since the 3D printed models you're making are made out of tough plastic, one thing that you may need to take into consideration would be that getting them unstuck from their base surface can be difficult. If you have a kid or a cousin you'd want to surprise with a super awesome gift that they can build themselves, partially, and then put to good use for making all kinds of exciting toys and other objects, this Ender 3 model can be an excellent buy. The complex parts of this printer, such as the control panel, the heater, and the other parts, come already pre-assembled in the factory. At number 6. Creality 3D CR10S 3D Printer with Filament Monitor. A stylish design, combined with some pretty impressive technology, makes this contraption a pretty interesting solution for a person looking for a cool-looking, easy-to-use 3D printer. What makes this model different from the rest of the models on this list is the required assembly time. With most models we featured above, the assembly time is about 10 minutes, while for this model, the assembly time is no longer than some 10 minutes at most. The most important parameter to look into is the print resolution when it comes to how precise these printers are. The thing is, the higher this resolution is, the easier it is for a printer to make the 3D model you've made using some piece of software exactly, or as close as possible, to the original. When this CR10S model is in question, the precision is plus or minus 0.1 mm, which is more than enough to successfully make even the tiniest models or objects that contain patches or parts of them with a large number of details. As we already announced in the intro to this article, one of the strongest suits of this model would be that you can assemble it fairly quickly, more quickly than the vast majority of other models on the market. The thing is, for purposes of shipping, most 3D printer making manufacturers make sure to disassemble their printers so that they can be shipped in smaller boxes. That you can copy the projects of your choice and have them printed using this 3D printer fairly easily. So, instead of using USB, this printer allows you to easily transfer the files of your choice on an SD card and then insert it directly into this printer's control panel to gain access to the files you copied on it. From there, 3D printing them is a piece of cake, as all you have to do is choose the file using the control panel itself, and then simply hit the print button to start the printing process.